All right, 7:01. Let's get started with tonight's Altadena Town Council meeting for August 18, 2026. Thank you, Kim. First order of business, I'm going to bring up our incredible Fair Oaks Burger owner, Christy, come on up, who also, more on this later, but also happens to be Congresswoman Judy Chu's Business of the Year. Please lead us in the salute.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Hands to your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Christy. We have a little gift for you, Reggie. And we'd like to honor you further coming up, so if you can please stick around. We'll move on to item 1.2, the roll call. Recording Secretary Sylvia Vega.
Good evening, council members. When I call your name, please say here or present. Connor Chula.
Present.
Morgan Rulledge.
Present.
Nick Arnton.
Present.
Kim Yu.
Present.
Melissa Morona.
Present.
Dorothy Wong. Here. John Carmody.
Here.
Darlene Green.
Present.
Anton Anderson.
Present.
Isis Molden. Here. Pat Sutherland. Here. By Yvette Gordon, I believe, is excused. Justin Moramus.
Here.
Reginald Wilkins.
Here.
Diane Markison.
Excused.
Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Moving on to 1.3, and before I do, Vice Chair, excuse me for a moment, just reminding the council members to turn off your microphones when you're not using them. Pasadena Media wants to make sure we all in the room know there is a camera in the center for our live stream. Please try not to block that. Go ahead, Vice Chair Morona.
Good evening, fellow council and community members. There are agendas at the back of the room as well as public comment cards. Remember, we are being filmed, so council, please speak into the microphone and listen to what Nick said. Additionally, I would like to remind everyone in the room to please silence your cell phones and other noise-making devices. The council welcomes input from the community on both agendized and non-agendized items. If you would like to make public comment, please fill out the card and give it to the council person on either end of the table. As the council does not respond to public comment during the meeting, if you would like a response, please include your contact information, and public comments are limited to 2 minutes. These guidelines are in place to ensure everyone wishing to make public comment has the time to do so, and that we could conduct this meeting in an orderly fashion. Council members, the Altadena Town Council Executive Committee met on Monday, August 3rd, to set the agenda for tonight's meeting and was sent to you on Thursday, August the 13th. I have 2 changes for the evening, which include adding 5.5 public health on soil testing and 7.21 a vote on election rules. Are there any other additional modifications? Seeing none, I move the agenda be approved with said changes.
Second.
We have a move and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? The ayes have it. Thank you, Vice Chair. We'll move on to officers' report. I'll start with my chair report. I'll try to get right through this, but there is a lot to report. I wanted to remind the council and thank the council again for those Tuesday meetings we're having. I think they're incredibly productive. Just so the public knows, we've started having council meetings privately a week before this meeting so we can discuss the issues at hand and what we're hearing from residents. Out of those meetings, we had discussions of flock, illegal dumping, construction hours, vendors, and food trucks. I'm mentioning that so the public does know that these are issues on our minds and on our residents' minds, and that we are working on, I wouldn't call it solutions, but some pushback to figure out how to get over those challenges. I also wanted to mention just this afternoon, kind of hot off the press, maybe an hour or 2 ago, our incredible LA County Director of Regional Planning, Kara Varnett, who's here tonight with us, so that's why I'm kissing up a little bit, sent me some positive info concerning productions. I would do it anyway. but sent me some great positive info that I've sent along to the full council with some protections for our residents who are rebuilding. Undoubtedly, you've all heard the horror stories of some contractors who are not the best players and some scams that are going on. While the scams, we can try to work to prevent another way. In particular, the CSLP, which is the Contractor State Licensing Board, contacted regional planning after receiving reports that Eaton and Palisades fire survivors are being asked to make excessive payments and are being encouraged to enter into cost plus and time and materials contracts that violate state law as they begin rebuilding. Reconstruction in declared disaster areas is subject to home improvement requirements, which mandate fixed price contracts and place strict limits on down payments and progress payments. This isn't always known by our residents, so it's important that they've reached out to educate our residents. And additionally, I'm happy to also announce that just this afternoon, I have confirmed, along with the help of Anders Corey, that the collaboratory will start hosting a CSLB table where residents themselves can pop in. This will probably happen on Thursday afternoons. They can pop in and we'll make this known to the residents and let us know their concerns and directly report them to CSLB and know the process and educate themselves on what their rights are. So this is great news. I'm so happy that they reached out today and that it coincides with that table that will be coming up probably starting next Thursday. And I want to move on to some appointments. From time to time on my history with the council has been asked to appoint people to certain positions. Boy, this year has been a lot of them, and I think we know why after what we've been through this year. And I also think it's a testament to the trust that we've fostered, and that's because of the people in front of me. So I thank you for your hard, decent work and for getting to know your community in a variety of ways because they're listening to you and then organizations are reaching out to us. So I wanted to make an announcement of some of the newest appointments. I did announce that Council Member Maramis will be our WSGV CIP Community Advisor Committee, the CAC committee. Just to give some context, as part of our West San Gabriel Valley capital improvement plan effort, the county is forming a county advisory committee to have a focused group of community liaisons that represent their respective communities within the West San Gabriel Valley. The CAC members will bring local community knowledge to the table and provide feedback and recommendations to county staff as we work through the project. Those CAC members will not have decision-making authority, and the CAC will not be the only forum to gather community input. Altadena is one of the communities within the West San Gabriel Valley, so I am appointing Council Member Justin Maramis, or repeating my appointment. Thank you, Council Member, for taking this on. Justin will serve as the Altadena WSGV CIP CAC member. Justin assists Land Use Chair Morona in prepping and conducting their meetings and provides the full council with guidance powered by his knowledge as a land use attorney. Again, thank you, Justin, for accepting this appointment. We're adding on to it, and you have agreed to, I'll remind you, we're adding on to that. They needed an Altadena CSD focus group appointment from the council, and you've agreed to take that on as well. I'll go into detail about that. The others, I'm just going to mention their appointments. As the county is preparing to make some updates to the Altadena Community Standards District, the CSD, which members of this council have worked hard on in the past, and their intent with the CSD updates is to correct errors, clarify language, resolve inconsistencies, and reconcile sections that conflict with other sections of the planning and zoning code. I know there are council members who were concerned about this, so I'm glad to see that we've been asked for our input. This focus group will talk through the updates and potential changes. The focus group members will not have decision-making authority, but will serve as advocates for the constituents they represent in Altadena to ensure the updated CSD language is reflective of the community needs they are aware of. And while we only have one appointment, I do want to remind the council and the public that this appointment is there for serving this body and the community. So please be liberal in reaching out to Justin on what you want to be included in those conversations. Justin, I'll turn to you to make sure that you're available to them and that you do represent us well. I'm sure you will. And again, thank you for your work on this. Not lastly, but the Los Angeles Conservancy is preparing to launch a multi-year effort to identify, document, and visualize Altadena's rich heritage to ensure rebuilding integrates cultural assets into broader planning efforts. They are committed to helping Altadena residents and stakeholders rebuild and honor lives and community lost due to the Eaton fire. By centering local voices and knowledge, the Altadena Cultural Asset Mapping Project aims to recognize and celebrate important places, culture bearers, cultural activities, and traditions that have shaped Altadena. A key part of this project is organizing a community advisory committee comprised of community leaders and representatives from local government that can help provide strategic guidance, review key milestones, and offer feedback on project deliverables. Once again, I've been asked to either sit on this council or appoint one of you, and I have asked Council Member Stuart Gordon to represent the ATC on this vital committee. She has generously accepted. Thank you, Council Member Stuart Gordon. Additional appointments for both formal and informal include Councilmember Molden has agreed to join the Owen Brown Committee and their continued educational work. This seemed like a no-brainer, council member, in the work you're doing in education and the great work you're doing to make sure that that's uplifted. They're reviewing her appointment and we will await confirmation unless we've already gotten it, probably later this week. Councilmember Green has been appointed to the Department of Angels Advocacy Committee. Thank you, Councilmember Green. The 2028 Olympics Committee has been giving us frequent updates and holds a monthly meeting to connect. I've been attending those, but like these others, I don't necessarily have the capacity, so I'm extremely grateful to all of you to be able to step into these positions. I have asked council members Marone and Green to be our ATC liaisons. They have kindly accepted to attend those meetings and keep us aware of anything we should know about, and once again, to amplify and uplift any concerns you might have or ideas for the Olympics Committee as we get closer. A couple months ago, I appointed Councilmember Anderson to the Library's Community Facilities District, the CFD Committee, a standing committee of their board that mainly oversees the spending of the bond proceeds. He graciously accepted, and he did report to me that he attended his first meeting with them, which was mostly introductory, and held nothing of significance that he has to report back, but looks forward to reporting back to us in the future. Thank you, Anton, and thank you, Council, for this very long chair's report. I will turn it over to Vice Chair Morona for her report.
All right, thank you, Chair. We'd just like to thank Fair Oaks Burger for being here with us this evening. As Nick mentioned, this weekend, Fair Oaks Burger was honored as one of Altadena's Businesses of the Year by Congresswoman Judy Chu. And since 1987, Fair Oaks Burger has been a beloved fast food, family-owned restaurant serving Altadena. Originally purchased by the parents of Christy and Janet Lee, the restaurant was passed down to the sisters in 2007. Following the Eaton fire last year, the restaurant has become more than a neighborhood restaurant. Beginning in February, the Lee family opened their parking lot to community efforts, hosting clothing drives and providing free hot meals to the community volunteers and providing meals to Altadena residents affected by the fire. Christy and Janet have continued to give generously to their neighbors, and it's delicious. That's not written here, it's from personal experience. The Lee's mission of come for food and stay for friends is what you feel when you walk into the door of Fair Oaks Burger. It is more than a restaurant. It is home to many in Altadena, and we thank you for your hard work for our community, and we are honored to have you here this evening. Let's give a hand to Fair Oaks Burger, Christy and Janet. Thank you so much. Okay, moving on. Webster's Community Pharmacy was also honored this weekend by Congresswoman Chu, and we congratulate Michael and Meredith Miller, who in December 2010 revitalized the business with a focus on community and service. The Millers introduced new services like vaccines, delivery, medical supplies, and automated dispensing. And this year's Webster's Community Pharmacy celebrates a century in business. We wish them continued success and thank them for all they do for the community. Let's give them a hand as well. And Congresswoman Judy Chu also raised a nonprofit of the year, and that was awarded right here in Altadena to the Altadena Meals on Wheels, a volunteer-based nonprofit providing hot meals and compassionate support to seniors and homebound residents in Altadena. The Meals on Wheels delivered its first meals in 1972, making it almost as old as me. For over 50 years, Meals on Wheels has remained a vital lifeline for the local community. Following the Eaton Fire Board, President Sharon Anderson and dedicated volunteer Shelley Mitfeld led a remarkable recovery. They built the program from the ground up, and within a year, their organization is delivering 61 meals across Altadena to ensure no one goes hungry. We thank you for taking care of our neighbors, Altadena Meals on Wheels, and your dedication to Altadena. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Vice Chair. We move to the Recording Secretary report. Councilmember Vega.
Council members, the July 2026 meeting minutes were distributed for your review. I received none other than from Chair Arnzen. That revision was made in terms of the full quorum versus a quorum. I will open the floor up for any final comments or changes. Hearing none, I move to approve the July 2026 meeting minutes as presented.
So, second.
We have a motion, a second from Councilmember Anderson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Ayes have it. Thank you. Moving on to the Treasurer's report, Councilmember Green.
Good evening. I would like to note that the Altadena Town Council is a volunteer organization, and we appreciate the continued support of residents and community partners who make our outreach possible. Residents and supporters who wish to contribute may do so through Zelle at donations@altadenatowncouncil.org. At this time, I'm going to pass around our wonderful can, and thank you for your contributions in advance. The Altadena Town Council began the reporting period with an account balance of $6,384.62. Expenditures during this period totaled $347, which included Google Workspace and administrative expenses. During this reporting period, the council received $240 in deposits through donations and Zelle contributions. The current account balance is $6,277.62. That concludes the Treasurer's report.
Thank you, Councilmember Green. Moving on to Corresponding Secretary's report, Councilmember Yu.
Good evening, everybody. I have a few things to share. Public Works is scheduling some Parkway palm tree maintenance. It is scheduled to start on August 17th and will last approximately 13 weeks. These contractors hired for this is West Coast Arborists. So if you see their trucks around, that's what they're doing. The work will be limited to 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Some work may be scheduled on Sundays, and temporary no parking signs will be posted at least 48 hours in advance of the start of construction in the affected areas. If you have any questions, you can call Public Works at 626-458-3985. The next announcement, street sweeping signs. So those are finally coming up. There will be a 3-week grace period that begins August 31st through September 18th. And then starting September 21st, they will begin full enforcement. If you want to see where those areas are, we did post them in our recent, in one of our recent Instagram posts. If you can't see the maps, message us in our comments, and then I will, with your email address, and I'll send you the maps if you want to see. Or you can also call the, to Public Works at 626-300-3253 regarding this matter. And lastly, our website is down for a few days as we are transitioning from WordPress to Wix. So that is actually happening. So in a few days, we will be on our new platform, yay. And then come visit us there. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Moving on to public safety reports. I'm going to ask Captain Marquez from the Altadena Sheriff's Station. Thanks for being here, Captain Marquez.
Thank you very much. In July, we did see a rise in crime. We saw some increase in thefts, mostly notably the catalytic converters. It's a continuing tick-up effect. What we're likely seeing is people come into the area, especially off the freeways, come in, hit the area very quickly. People can take catalytic converters in about 1 to 2 minutes very easily and then leave. It's a very difficult crime to solve, and so that just makes it our job a lot harder to try to figure that out. But what these teams and crews will do is they'll come into an area, hit it hard, and then leave and go to hit another area. So it takes a lot of coordination with different departments to try to figure out where these guys are, where they're going next. We can't predict where the next place they'll hit, but that seems to, or it appears that's what's happening. We did have a reported rape. I think there was some concern about that. It is an old crime that was reported by two people that know each other. They've known each other for a very long time. We are still seeing a lot of people reporting crimes or past crimes on social media and emailing us. It is very concerning to get an email from somebody that there's an active crime happening and emailing us, and it happens to be a Friday night at 9 o'clock at night. I just happen to check my emails and I see that somebody's trying to report a crime a few hours before. Please, if there is a crime that's happening, call 911. If it's an active crime, it's an emergency, or call our station 626-798-1131. That is still the best way if you need to get a hold of us. It is very difficult to do a three-way conversation, somebody calling me or somebody calling somebody else that they know or sending an email or a text or something like that. It's not the most effective way to report crimes. We need to have the person talk to the dispatcher so that we can get deputies to you as fast as we can. We are trying to plan a catalytic converter etching event at one of our local dealerships that's worked with us in the past. We're thinking it's going to be towards the end of September, beginning of October. We will be asking our partners at the city of Pasadena and the California Highway Patrol to participate with us. And I'm sure we're going to get a lot of support from Supervisor Barter on that. October 24th, we have the haunted jail. I hope that you can all make it. I know there's some people that are participating with us in that, and we're very excited. We're hoping to have about 1,000 people there. One of our local art schools is going to be doing a production of Thriller. We're going to shut down the streets in front of the station, and we hope to see everybody there. I've heard it's on the level of a Broadway production. So I'm very excited to see it myself, and maybe I can get out there and try my moves. I hope they don't hold me to that because my moves are very good. Anyway, and then of course, January 10th, we have the Altadena Forever Run. Please sign up. We had 3,200 people. We raised $148,000 for fire survivors last year, and we're hoping to at least do a lot better this year on that. So if you have any questions for me.
Councilmember Anderson.
Just so everyone can know, can you explain what the catalytic converter etching is?
There's a device that will inscribe a VIN number or license plate number on a catalytic converter, and the reason that's so important to us is because when somebody steals a catalytic converter, they'll come in, they will hit the area with a battery-powered sawzall or metal-bladed saw, cut the tubes of your exhaust in your car, take the catalytic converter. It has metals inside that they like to melt down and repurpose it for the next catalytic converter. They are usually sent overseas in bulk. There's a lot of recyclers that we believe are involved, but we can't. It's a very difficult crime for us to solve because there's nothing unique about them. No serial number. If they don't have a VIN number or a license plate number, we can't tie that back to a car. So if we pull somebody over, which we have done in the past at different stations and different operations, we may pull somebody over with 20 of these in the back of a pickup truck or in a car. But unless we can actually link it to a car, and we can take that to court where you can say without a doubt, a reasonable doubt that that's not from this vehicle, we can't really prosecute. It's a very difficult crime to prosecute, and they're getting about $500 per catalytic converter online or on the black market. So it's a very lucrative crime, and it's a very hard crime to solve.
Thank you, Captain. Councilmember Carmody and then Councilmember Lewis.
Hey, Captain. It's hard to see your face, but that light behind you is so bright. I have a couple of neighbors who are rebuilding, and they have those large, like garbage bins, if it's probably not even the right word, in front of their homes, in their site. And they both have had incidents where, I guess, other crews or whatever drove up with their truck full of their debris, garbage, and dumped it into their bins and literally filled them all up with their stuff. They weren't sure. I didn't have an answer for them as far as what they should do. One of them does have video of the truck pulling up and basically dumping everything into their bin. Is there a recommendation of what they should be doing? Is that something they can come to you guys for?
Yeah.
Is it just sort of like what can they do?
I've done construction myself in front of my house. It's always a concern. You put a bin in front of your house, your neighbors won't be so neighborly and they'll dump their trash in your bin. But this sounds more like construction. This is something that we believe would happen on the onset or as the rebuild would occur. In terms of legal dumping, you can certainly call us. We will take a report, but we do need the victim of the victim who's paying for this bin to come forward and talk to us. And what we've seen on social media reporting that we are not taking these types of reports. The problem is we need the victim to come forward and talk to us. So it does take us some time to actually try to track down the victim. We don't have lists of who lives in the neighborhood necessarily, so we have to try to hunt them down. But please call us. That is definitely something we're concerned with because somebody's basically, they're dumping their trash and somebody has to pay for it. You get charged by weight when you dump trash.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Captain Marquez.
You're welcome.
We'll move on to our California Highway Patrol report. Is Officer Keller here? I do not see him. Council, I'm going to pocket that in case he arrives in the next few minutes and move on to 3.3 LA County Fire. I do see Maria Greiken in the house. A superstar to the town council.
Oh, thank you. Good evening, everybody. For the month of July, activity is picking up a little bit in Altadena. So we had a total of 243 responses. So that's the highest we've had in quite some time. We did have five fires, nothing major. One was an oven fire. They did move the oven. They had to take the oven out of the house, and then they had to disconnect the gas line, and then they just made sure that there was nothing leaking from there. We had a structure fire on Marengo Avenue. An electrical junction box in the attic was smoldering around the insulation. They did have to, once the power was out, douse it all with water because it's insulation and you don't know what gets in there. They had to cut a hole in the ceiling, remove all the insulation. So it left quite a mess. There was a transformer fire, minor flames and charring on a transformer on Raymond Avenue. They were not able to determine the cause of that. Edison did respond to deal with that. But since it was on July 9th, their first thought was fireworks, and that was ruled out. So it was not due to fireworks. And that's the significant fires that we had. 196 medical calls, 7 service calls. We had 2 traffic collisions. We had a total of 9 traffic collisions during the month. 2 of them noteworthy. One was versus a bicyclist on Casitas Avenue. The patient was riding his bicycle. He turned into a vehicle that was making a turn. So he was not badly hurt. He denied transport. And then at the 2100 block of Lincoln Avenue, which I think is the McDonald's, it was in the parking lot there. The patient was bumped by a car in the parking lot. He also denied transport. One of the safety tip of the month is what I really wanted to talk about. It's come up a couple of times in the past month, which is why I jumped on it now. Show of hands, audience, council members. Did you know that you could text 911? Okay, see, got my work cut out for me. This came up actually because of a couple of things, but one in particular that hit the news, and my chief saw it on the news. There was a woman in Stevenson Ranch who went out into her front yard. She was kind of clipping her rose bushes, and a rattlesnake was under there and bit her. And she got out her cell phone and she had no cell reception. So she texted her husband, and then her husband had to drive home from work. And then he got there, and then he took her to the hospital. Thankfully, this had a positive outcome and everything was fine. But it got me thinking that not enough people know that you have the ability to text 911. A voice call is always preferred, always. But if you don't have cell reception, or if you are in a position where you cannot speak, if there's a crime in progress or something and you cannot speak, you can text 911. It's just like calling 911. You just hit 911, enter your text message. But there are some things that you need to know. Just like a regular 911 call, it does get routed to local law enforcement. So you need to tell in that initial text to 911, because we get plenty of them where all they say is, I need help. And that's it, I need help. Please try to be as specific as you can in that initial text. Do you need the fire department? Do you need law enforcement? Do you need CHP? What help do you need, and what is the problem? This woman could have said snake bite. That would have triggered, that needs to go to the fire department, right? Snake bite, need medical help. And please, in that initial text, give your address or your location. Where are you? Now when that text is received by 911, it is responded to, so you are going to start a dialogue by text. If you can engage in that dialogue, please do. As long as you have provided the address or location where you are and the problem that you're having, they're already dispatching resources. And then they will follow up with more questions. They might get more information from you. They might give you instructions. They might do other things. But that initial text has got to say what type of a problem you're having and the location, the address where you're having that problem, so that we can get things going. There have been many times that we've just gotten a text that said, I need help. And then we respond and nobody answers, and we don't know where they are, so we can't send help. So you do have the ability to text 911. If you don't have good cell reception, that is how you get 911. If you're out hiking somewhere, just give a general location and then we can try to ping you and get your exact location. Again, voice call, always preferable, but it's not always available to you. So when you cannot make a voice call, you can text 911. So just want to make sure everybody knows that.
Thank you, Maria. If that's the end of your report, I'll turn to questions. Any questions, council members? Seeing none, I thank you for that newest tip that surprised us all.
Okay.
Have a good night.
You're welcome.
We'll move on to agenda item 4, general public comment. I'll turn to council member Yu. Yep, there's the script for it.
The Altadena Town Council welcomes public comment. To speak, fill out a comment card in the back of the room and give it to a council member. Comments are limited to 2 minutes, and the council does not respond during meetings. To request follow-up, include your contact information. As I call your name, please come up to the podium for your public comment. Victoria Knapp. And on deck is Jim Extel.
Good evening, council members. I am here tonight to let you know that the next ACONA meeting is on Tuesday, 8/25. That's next Tuesday. That's 7 p.m. Our meetings are virtual. This is going to be a nonprofit builders forum. So we will have Mennonite Builders, Samaritan's Purse, San Gabriel Valley Habitat for Humanity, and Hope Crisis Network. In addition, we've got somebody from the county coming to talk about our oak tree situation, which is a continued situation as people are rebuilding. And fingers crossed, we will have an update on the post office in Altadena. So we look forward to seeing you all there, Tuesday, 7 p.m.
Thank you. Are there any questions for this familiar face?
Why is she here again? That's the question. Thanks.
Jim Extel.
Thank you. Good evening. I'll summarize the letter that I'm having them pass around. It was drafted by the residents of the McGuire Drive neighborhood in Altadena, which is a community improvement district petitioning the Los Angeles County for municipal sewer connections. Our homes were built mostly in the mid-20th century and still rely on aging septic systems. Connecting to municipal sewer infrastructure is essential for public health, water quality, and neighborhood resilience. The Eaton fire has made this urgent. As neighbors rebuild, septic requirements are creating costly inspections, permitting delays, a requirement for reduced building footprints because of setback rules, and the need for possible system replacement or relocation. County Public Works and Public Health estimated sewer connection costs in my neighborhood at more than $83,000 per parcel. And that would be upfront, with significantly higher costs if it was spread over a 30-year assessment period. For many families, that makes rebuilding or voluntary connection to sewer unrealistic. We ask that the Town Council, Los Angeles County, and the State of California and federal partners to help secure funding for petitioning CIDs in Altadena to fund sewer main extensions so that homeowners don't have to bear the full capital costs, and to support individual lateral connections through grants, principal forgiveness, or ultra-low interest financing. This investment would protect local environmental resources while helping fire survivors rebuild safely and return home. Thank you for supporting Altadena's recovery. We respectfully ask for your help in making this essential infrastructure affordable and available for our community.
Thank you, Chairman. That concludes our public comment.
Thank you, Councilmember Yu, and community. I will move on to item 5, community reports. First up, we have Parks and Recreation, Guillermo Portillo. Thank you for being here, Guillermo.
Hey, everybody. Just gonna wait till we put up the PowerPoint. Yeah.
And thank you, Guillermo. I know that our last meeting you were here, we had a lot of people and you were not able to present, so we appreciate you and your time and look forward to hearing what you have to say this evening.
No worries. Yeah, we got a lot of new programs coming up, especially now that we got our new fiscal year to July, so we got some programming all the way to December, so. We could start. Cool. All right. So some of the park programs we got going on. You want to go to the next slide? All right. Park programs we got going on daily. Teen program Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. all the way to 9 p.m. They do have some trips coming up. So we have their Hollywood Bowl trip. They are going to be taking place in September 6th, and then also on October 3rd. So they do have a couple coming up. Everybody plays our after school programs during the school year, so it's actually going to be taking place September 1st all the way to May 21st of next year between 2:30 and 6 p.m. And then just to kind of provide a bit of a resolution, we know some of our participants aren't able to actually arrive at the park because of the distance and also with transportation. So we are going to be offering transportation services. Currently, we do offer that for our teen program, so if anyone needs any assistance, more than welcome to help out with that. Tiny Tots, we have that program kicking off September 1st, so they just finished up their summer session, and that takes place all the way to November. And then for our senior program with the aging and disabilities, they actually are responsible for that program, and it's year-round, between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. And then upcoming events we got going on, we have Hispanic Heritage, Trick or Treat Village, Lights On After School, Day of the Dead, Harvest Festival, and Holiday in the Park. All of these kind of differ a little bit, but you'll be able to try different cultural foods during Halloween or Trick or Treat. It's gonna be more for candy. I am gonna send out an invite to Town Council, see if you guys wanna come out and participate, either hand out candy or just table at our event. And then the big one that everybody loves is Holiday in the Park. So that one's gonna be on Saturday, December 19th. You guys already know we don't pull the stops on that one. We're gonna have snow, we're gonna have toys, arts and crafts, and a variety of food. And then summing up for our core partner, Rotary Club, this Saturday is gonna be their last concert, so make sure you guys can come out. And then I have a few community updates. So Aquatic Center at Lomalt Park. Fortunately, Catherine Barger's office was actually able to sponsor and set a grant so that they can extend the hours, which is gonna go all the way up until September 30th. Please be advised that's actually the only location in the county that actually got the extended hours, so it's really cool. And then we do have our community meeting, September 22nd at Lomalt Park. That's gonna be from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So we do encourage everybody to participate. That's kind of where we get a survey from everyone to see what amenities or what is it that they wanna see in the parks. Whether you guys want new programming, specific programming, amenities, whether it's lighting. So that's kind of an open forum for everybody. And then Charles White Park, I got some good news. Not sure if this was shared out yet, but we do have a tentative date for groundbreaking, which is gonna be on October 3rd. So I'll make sure to send that out to everybody and share, because I know everyone's highly anticipating that. Next slide. And then there's all my contact information along with the park supervisors, if anybody wants to be in contact with us, and then scan the QR code if you guys want to hear about any of these events. All right, that's it.
Thank you, Guillermo. Do we have any questions, council members? Councilmember Anderson?
Sure.
Was that groundbreaking date changed from before?
That's the one that they had just had given me. So that's like what we have locked in so far.
Okay, I thought there was a September date, but.
You know what might be a September date? I was talking to our director, is they're planning to do a groundbreaking also for the Dodgers Dream Fields up at Farnsworth Park. So they're gonna have two separate ones. So one's Charles White and the other one's Charles Farnsworth.
All right, got it. So the September one is for Farnsworth. All right, got it.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Guillermo, thank you so much for being here and for your patience.
Awesome.
Good to have you back.
Take care.
We will move on to item 5.2, the Foothill catalog. My friend Alex Athenson.
Hey everyone, thanks for having me. I'll give a brief kind of introduction to our organization, the Foothill Catalog Foundation, and then also kind of just a general state of the rebuild. So next slide. So the Foothill Catalog Foundation, for those that don't know, we're a nonprofit organization. I'm a local architect with my wife, Cynthia. We're architects that founded the organization with the mission to develop a catalog of pre-approved designs to allow displaced fire survivors to move forward more affordably, more efficiently, resiliently, with an effort to retain our community character and identity. Next slide. So that's what we've done. You can think of us as the 21st century Sears catalog, specifically for Altadena, working hand in hand with LA County through their pre-approved plans program. So glad Kara is here, who is a crucial advocate for that program. You can fast forward a few slides. There's a few features here, but so I think what a lot of people don't know is we also have pretty robust kind of rebuild navigation side of our organization too. We're designers, we're architects, but we also have our organization is set up to guiding people through this process of, even if it's a simplified process of using a pre-approved plan through LA County, figuring out feasibility for their lot, feasibility for their budget, connecting them with all of the different trades, whether it's engineers, whether it's contractors, and trying to ensure some predictability and clarity in what is a very risky, very uncertain process, which is construction. Next slide. And so what we've seen is this really drastic impact in the ability for families to move forward, giving them a massive head start in the process, saving tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of the rebuild, and months if not years of time, but really just alleviating a lot of burden of navigation and adding a lot more clarity into the process. Next slide. So to date, we've developed a catalog of over 70 unique home, ADU, and garage designs that are all pre-approved with LA County with full architectural, structural, MEP, Title 24, everything it takes to get permitted and built in LA County except for a site plan. And to date, we've engaged 284 families through that direct consultation process and are moving forward with 101 families who are signed on. We currently have 43 designs under construction in Altadena and adding more every day. So that's kind of a quick update of the Foothill catalog. But want to kind of put that in the context of the larger rebuild effort and pulling some statistics from what we've seen from publicly available data from LA County. So next slide. I can answer questions about how this data is specifically parsed, but looking at specific single-family home impacted lots. Right now we're seeing at about 57% of the impacted single-family lots have submitted some sort of permit. And so that's really great news, but it's also, there's a long way to go. There's 43% of these properties that have not recorded any progress in the rebuild as far as submitting some kind of permit. So next slide. And what we're seeing from this permit data is also that Altadena is growing, that the rebuilds that we're seeing are increasing on average of what was recorded with the assessors to what is recorded in their permit, about 402 square feet on average. So this is not including the 35% of projects that include ADUs. And so you can see kind of the shift of the light green to the dark green, the bottom right of what we're seeing from what was there before, that bell curve of what was lost and what the new bell curve is shaping up to be in Altadena. Next slide. And so this is kind of how we started. I mean, the Foothill catalog from day one looked at this DINS data, looked at what was lost, and tried to replicate this catalog of homes specifically for the need in Altadena. Not only looking at Altadena's style and typology, but looking at the lots that were affected and how we could mimic a catalog of standard plans that is specifically designed for this community and the need. So the red dots represent our designs that are pre-approved with the county, and you see the outlier of ADUs on the smaller side, but we are mimicking that green bell curve, which you saw in a smaller version on the last slide. And the blue for context is actually the Palisades affected area, just to provide a reference. Next slide. And so I think it's important to understand that just submitting a permit, there is a lot of different permits, and it's a long process of even getting from a planning application all the way through to actually getting under construction and then actually moving back in. So we're seeing that kind of drop off of where we've had over 3,000 permits applied for, but only 91, around 2% of the projects actually completed. And so what that tells us is that construction is difficult, that journey is long, and it is fraught with risk. And there are a lot of dead ends of families that we're directly trying to help and support, but also trying to provide clear pathways to move them forward without as much risk as possible. Next slide. And so I think to close, what we're trying to address is we're seeing a momentum and really an increase in rebuilding activity with Foothill catalog plans and pre-approved plans at a time where we've seen permit applications peak in September 2025 and decrease pretty consistently month over month to date. So we're trying to really invigorate the rebuild effort and move it forward with a standard plan approach that can allow for individuality to still exist in Altadena. And that is it. So happy to answer any questions from the council.
Thank you, Alex. Council, any questions? Councilman Carmody?
Thank you. I actually just have a comment. Two of my neighbors that live on my block went with the Foothill catalog, and they were very overwhelmed initially before, and then went with you, and it seemed to be a good choice for them, especially one of them has a child with special needs, so they were overwhelmed with the entire process, so you guys have made it a lot easier for them. So I just wanted to echo that. They're very excited about their new homes.
Yeah, appreciate it. And that's the goal, is not sacrifice on quality, but make this process that is difficult as an architect, this process is so hard to build anything in LA County in 2026. So that was the goal of the whole organization as a nonprofit, to be able to give people access to this process that is construction and not sacrifice quality in terms of regional sensitivity, sustainability, resiliency in doing so.
Any other questions? Councilmember Whirlidge?
I don't really have a question. I just wanted to say thank you to you because early on after the fire, I started looking into catalog homes, basically the idea of what Foothill catalog became, and getting to know you over this period of time and just seeing the amount of work that you've done. And I just want to echo over 70 designs. That's just incredible. So I just want to say thank you from myself, from the community, because what you've done is just nothing short of heroic and remarkable. And thank you for all you continue to do for the community. Just really, I want you to know how much it means to me personally and to the residents here. So thank you.
I appreciate it.
Councilmember Anderson.
just to echo everything Morgan just said, 100%. So thank you for coming and thank you for sharing all this. My question, some of this information was a new twist or new overlay on some of the public information. I'm hoping you can make that available either to this council or if it's on your website or something where we can go and view that more.
Yeah, most definitely. This was the 2 to 3 minute version of kind of everything we've parsed, and it helps us understand what the needs are, 19 months into this effort, the same way we did 1-2 months into the effort. So happy to expand upon this and work with the council directly or anyone in the community to share out this data that the county does an incredible job of making available, and how we can take things away from it in order to find efficiencies and keep the progress going.
Thank you.
Councilmember Wong?
Yes, I also echo what everyone else said. It was great to see you from the beginning all the way to this phase, so thank you for that work. Can you just briefly touch on partnership or the connection with San Gabriel Valley Habitat and how that further is helping our community?
Yeah, of course. So Habitat for Humanity San Gabriel Valley is a really special chapter of what is a global organization. So I was in their office 2 weeks after the fire, working with their team to launch what became the Foothill catalog, but with a natural partner, which is a nonprofit builder in Habitat, who has been working here for 40 years. And so we figured out this program through pre-approved plans and through their assistance nonprofit rebuild effort, where they will be gap financing and gap funding families who are income qualified to work with Habitat. And they're opening up all 70 plus designs from the catalog to build those streamlined homes, affordable homes for families who qualify for their program. So it's actually, it's an incredible program that I think not many people know about, that you can have access to, you can build any home in the catalog that fits on your lot, and they will work together to find the funding to make it possible, and have an incredible team to support you every step of the way in collaboration with our organization. So yeah, it started with a January meeting of 2025, and it's launched into this effort where we are actually moving our second family with them back in tomorrow morning. Yeah. And have about 20 projects under construction with them right now.
Any other questions? Thank you, Council. Thank you, Alex.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay. We're going to hold on 5.3 unless we see, are our interns here yet? I think they were coming around 8:15. Okay. Council, if you don't mind, I'm going to hold on to that till the end. We're going to move on to 5.4, which is an EFC update with Bree Jensen.
Hi, wonderful people. Okay, so much has been going on at the Eaton Fire Collaborative, so I will try and keep it brief. My name is Bree Jensen. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Eaton Fire Collaborative. A lot of people are like, there's so much going on there, what even is it? Let me try and tell you. So basically, the Eaton Fire Collaborative is home to the Long-Term Recovery Group, the official one for the Eaton Fire. The Long-Term Recovery Group is kind of the facilitator between community, nonprofits, funders, and all the things to try and bring it all together and then disperse it all out. I can already see lots of questions like rolling in everyone's heads. And the way that it's executed is through 12 committees, and you can find those on our website, but they specialize in each category of the rebuild. So things like rebuilding, as well as business recovery, disaster case management, and so on. And then we also have the Eaton Fire Collaborative, and its original state is over 200 member nonprofit organizations, grassroots organizations that all come together and collaborate. Like Alex is a member, and so is Habitat for Humanity. So it's been a really beautiful spot to build those relationships and work together on recovery. And then there's the collaboratory. A lot of people call it the Eaton Fire Collaboratory, but we're the collaboratory Collaborative housed in the Collaboratory. So that's our physical space at 540 West Woodbury. We have over 40 of our serving the community organizations housed there. And today was such an awesome testament to the work that's done there. My office is there. And I'm also a survivor. One of my neighbors came in that I haven't seen in a while, looking to go to our free store. We also have a free store there that you can register online to come and shop. And she had been really struggling in a lot of ways to get support. And within a half an hour, we walked across a couple different offices, and now she feels a lot more confident in the process. So it's just a really beautiful opportunity to serve the community. A few impact details that we have. This is a little outdated, so it's more than this now, but we have 215 member organizations, 48 organizations on site, 10,000 survivors on record for being supported. And I have so much more to say, 30 seconds. 6,000 collaborative visits a month and 30,000 people served. The things I want to let you know is we did do staffing. And so now we have a disaster case coordinator. So we get to help the community even more. I'm really excited about that. We also, one thing I want to make sure I get across is we have an unmet needs table. So this is where cases are going to be heard for our community members that have major needs, and then funding will be able to be distributed that way. Lots more, please just ask me.
Councilmember Willage, we'll take some questions.
Thank you. So how would someone access the unmet needs table?
Yeah, so they need to have a disaster case manager. So now that we have our disaster case coordinator, they can get connected with a disaster case manager through the coordinator or through one of our organizations you can find on the website, which we're updating, by the way. So that will be easier. And then the disaster case manager will bring their case to the unmet needs group, and then based on the criteria, then distribute out essentially a grant.
So folks should visit the collaboratory and then
And
meet
the
with
website.
them. Yeah, okay, perfect.
Yes, thank you.
Other questions?
Please sign up for the brief.
What was that?
Please sign up for the brief, which is our newsletter that you can find on the website.
Great, visit the site. I think the council knows I sit as the facilities director for the Collaboratory, which is the physical space. I do not sit on the Eaton Fire Collaborative Board, but we do keep an eye on what's going on there, and I appreciate being in that facility every day and seeing the good work you do. Thank you.
Yeah, I like seeing you every day too.
I have a husband. All right, we're gonna move on to.
So do I.
I wish. 5.5, we're moving on to, thank you, Bree. Moving on to public health, soil testing. Janet Scully, the project lead. Hello, Janet.
Hi. Oh, wow. Look, I was just about to mention my slide, and there it is. Good evening. I'm Janet Scully. I'm from the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health. Immediately following the fires, Public Health stood up a soil lead testing program free for wildfire survivors. We collected and analyzed over 2,300 samples from the community. It was a really successful program. In the last several months, we've seen a very sharp decline in demand. And so we have made the decision to transition the program over to the USC Clean program, which offers the very same service we were offering. In fact, they actually have more drop-off locations. So free soil lead testing will still be available to anyone interested. You just go to the USC Clean program website. So that transition happened on August 15th. So the program is complete at this point. And what the slides you see is our social media messaging that should have gone out. So hopefully this is not new news to most of you, but we did want to make sure that you all in the community are aware of our sunset. We also have on our website, it's a dashboard which has all the aggregate results from the soil lead testing by zip code. So the link is there. It's an interactive map, so you can kind of click on the different zip codes and you'll get kind of a breakdown of like kind of where the soil samples, how they were analyzed and what the levels were. It's pretty self-explanatory on the website. And I'll stop there if you have questions.
Council members, do we have questions? Thinking. No? This is definitely a hot issue. Yeah, okay. Councilmember Anderson.
I have so many questions, but I'll just stick to one. So can you describe the program through USC is also just lead testing?
Also just lead.
Okay.
That was too easy.
Councilmember Wilkins.
Have you done any time series to see what overall base lead levels have changed over the last year and a half, like for a specific location?
We have not. In fact, we don't even have, we have the aggregate data, but public health, we don't even have the data. It's with the lab we contracted with, and that was intentional to protect the privacy of participants. Because anything that comes to public health becomes public record. And we didn't want that.
Councilmember Anderson?
So if a property owner wants to have, because I understand the information is published back out in aggregate, that's sort of the hexagonal map that, or the less granular map that went out for a while that's out there now on the website, yes?
Yeah, okay.
But I guess my question is that if you want soil testing specific to your property and get results back specifically for your property, would that also still be the same with USC?
Yes.
Okay.
That's how it worked with our program. You collect your own soil, you drop it off, the lab picks it up, and then the results are emailed directly to the participant. USC, same thing. I think theirs is a tiny bit different. In fact, I think theirs might be a little more streamlined and faster than ours, but you didn't hear that from me.
Any more questions? Thank you, Janet. I'll probably be getting a hold of you. There's a cancer surveillance data research about to kickstart in September, and we'll certainly lean into public health to help us kind of gather and get a baseline.
Great.
So thank you for being here. Looking forward to working with you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to step back to 5.3, our summer intern project. I'll turn to Councilmember Molden.
Hey, interns, you can come to the podium. So every year, the Education Committee, we host our PUSD students, our rising seniors, in our summer internship program. And this year, we have Ms. Jocelyn and Mr. Nathan here to present. So their summer project was to explore the Works app, and they've created a presentation for all of you to enjoy.
I can fill the time, no problem. In the interim, I'd like to discuss something I was going to say in the land use, that this Saturday evening, I came home to a bear in my home. And so I talked to ate all of the Altadena Cookie Company's cookies off of my counter, the bear did. And so when I called the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, they mentioned to make sure that if a bear does get into your home, to make that report. So just want to make sure that we all are reporting bear break-ins should it happen to you. Nothing like coming home and finding a bear looking out at you from your bedroom window, so.
But did he take your catalytic converter is what I want to know.
And now you can text 911.
We're going to wait for the download and do a presentation first, correct?
You can start. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is actually our intern's last participation in our monthly meeting, and Council Member Darlene Green has a gift for them.
I wanted to just thank the wonderful interns for all the work they did for the Legislative Affairs Committee. They were incredible. This is actually from the entire council, just a little something to get you started in your new school year. We want you to know that you can do anything you put your mind to, and thank you for your hard work.
All right, see, that gave you time to shake off any nerves. So we're ready to go with your presentation.
Okay, so here was our summer project. We're focusing on stopping illegal dumping in Altadena. Yeah, next slide. Okay, so the first reason we want to focus on this is because it hurts the residents. Like, there's dust and like toxins in the air, and it gets dirty, and you know, people don't want to live in that. Next slide. Yeah, it hurts wildlife, you know, it destroys natural habitats and ecosystems, and, you know, animals eat it, and it's bad. They feed it to their children, and you know, they get really sick, and that's also really bad for the environment. Okay, next. And it hurts the environment, like I said. Pollutant gets washed up into our soil, and it prevents natural recovery, which can harm, you know, natural plants and natural bugs and insects.
And then to report illegal dumpings, you can use the Works app to report illegal dumpings. So a disclaimer, Public Works and the Works app is for issues in the public right-of-way for dumping on private property. The responsibility and cost of the cleanup can fall ultimately to the property owners. Can you speak into the mic? Oh yeah, I apologize. And then, so here is the Works app, Public Works. And then if you go on, if it's on the phone or the computer, you can click the residence. If you go in there, you should be at home, and then click residence. And then below that, there's a bunch of sections. Click report a problem. And then, next slide. Yeah. And then after you click report a problem, there should be a section called report a illegal dumping. And then just input the information and pictures and ultimately the place where you found the illegal dumpings. And then that should be it.
Is that it?
Council members, any questions for our guests? I will say the Works app is incredible. It's helped me over the years to definitely kind of train the community to take care of issues on their own, and they've really appreciated that. Our first interns actually I had them going out in our different census tracts and walking blocks and reporting anything from illegal dumping to street repair and potholes. And if you do not have the Works app on your phone in particular, it's available on on your tablets and devices, but on the phone in particular, it's so incredibly user-friendly. So thank you for covering that and for reminding us. All right, thank you again. We will move on to our special presentation. This is the LACO Public Works Utility Undergrounding Work, and we have Kiara Barnett, Assistant Deputy Director. Thank you for being here, Kiara.
Me. And that was a fantastic plug for Public Works. I told Lee his job's being done for him, so that was great to be here to see that. So good evening, everybody. I'm Kiara Barnett, and I'm here today in my new role with the Rebuild Authority. So the Rebuild Authority is a newly established within Public Works by the Board of Supervisors to help coordinate many aspects of recovery and rebuilding following the Eaton and Palisades fires. And we're not another permitting agency. Our job is to bring the different players together, county departments, utilities, state and federal partners, and residents rebuilding their private properties, and help identify and resolve issues that can slow down recovery. The town council invited us here tonight to talk about the ways county is coordinating with Edison, Southern California Edison, how that coordination connects with the rebuilding happening across Altadena, and where there's still work to do. So the first thing I want to do is clarify and make clear what is under the county control and what is not. So utilities, like Southern California Edison, are regulated by the state, specifically the California Public Utilities Commission, or CPUC. So where the county does have an important role is in permitting work within the public road right-of-way and making sure that that work complies with county requirements. As the Rebuild Authority, we also have a responsibility to advocate for community, bring the right parties together, and push for issues to be resolved when residents are not getting the information that they need or the coordination that they need. So I want to be clear that we support the supervisor and the Altadena community in raising concerns with Edison, and we are working on holding Edison accountable for addressing them. So that means getting better information, proactive communication and advance notice, stronger coordination, and compliance with county requirements, including for protections for trees and the public right-of-way. So we coordinate with Edison on private property referrals and public right-of-way permitting. One example of something we're working on is Public Works is modifying our permit conditions to require 30 days advance notice, giving residents an opportunity to review planned work before construction moves forward. So we know, again, with the rebuilding efforts that are going on, community need time to review these plans and see how they coordinate or don't with their own private rebuilding. So our role is to use the authority that we have to continue pushing Edison where improvements are needed and to make sure concerns we're hearing from community don't fall through the cracks. The community have also expressed concerns about the costs associated with connecting homes to underground services. So we're actively pursuing FEMA grant funding that would help offset those costs for homeowners. That funding has not been secured, but we're actively working on pursuing it. So going forward, the Rebuild Authority's job is going to bring these pieces together, utilities, permitting, roads, and individual rebuilds, so residents aren't left to coordinate all of these systems by themselves. And tonight, I look forward to hearing directly from all of you about where you're seeing gaps. These are the issues that we want to take back and continue pressing Edison and other utility partners. So our goal with the Rebuild Authority is straightforward, to keep rebuilds moving, advocate for this community, and to make sure utility infrastructure, permitting, and private construction work together rather than against each other. With that, I'll open it to questions.
Thank you, Kira. You've heard about my past 48 hours, so
yes.
We'll leave that be. And I'll turn to the council for any questions. Let's go. Councilmember Connor Chipola. I was going to say Connor.
First and last, wow. Congrats on the new role. So as a nexus for providers, is joint trenching on your radar? Is that something you guys have authority to
So what
move
I would
along?
say is, as far as one trench, there's logistical, construction, safety, and cost issues with kind of a one trench policy. So Edison and telecom providers use different construction methods and different depths for the work that they do. So telecoms can use shallower or micro trenching approaches, while electric infrastructure has different requirements. So a single shared trench is not always going to be practical. And so from the county's perspective, sequencing is the important part that we're here to help facilitate, is the sequencing. Because the goal, again, is to coordinate the work so that neighbors aren't unnecessarily disturbed more than once.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Councilmember Worley?
Just following, thank you for being here. Just following up on that. So is the proposal that once Edison comes and undergrounds, that voluntarily the other utilities would then come in underground and LA County would coordinate the sequencing of those? Because it sounds like that would mean that there would be like street closures and infrastructure being laid multiple times through the neighborhood. Why not just approach it, do it once and be done with it?
Great question. So we do know that Edison are going to be rebuilding 63 miles within Altadena. AT&T have an agreement now for 40 miles, which is the 40 miles that are in the very high fire hazard severity zone. And so the work doesn't require full road closures, and really that micro trenching, I know Dominic's here, we worked on micro trenching together when I was in Land Development Division. Goes pretty quick, huh, Dominic?
It can be, yes.
So yeah, it'll be more the coordination. And again, of course, it's also what we're working on with Dominic and Edison is the coordination between, right, you look at we have a new parcel map now underneath our dashboard on that, recovery.lacounty.gov site, the dashboards. It's a new parcel map, and really it's, a lot of these homes, like I say, who lives on a residential street that has 4 homes with a project, right, a re-roof? And of course, in rebuilding, more than 50% of some of the streets now have active permits. And so it really is that coordination that Dominic and I will be working with utilities, as well as, any public infrastructure and the private work. So yeah, lots more coordination to come, Morgan. Thanks for the question.
Thank you. 40 miles is significant. I'm grateful to hear that number, but 23 miles is still significant. I did find out recently through Mayor Crowder in Paradise, California, they did compel PG&E to have the telecoms. They wrote to CPUC. Have we compelled CPUC at all, or just held discussions? It is something that town council can help take a lead on, because they did successfully get a 1 dig, and they got all of the telecoms to go underground. Their full town went underground.
Gotcha. Yeah, because undergrounding, the program, it is ultimately part of the utility system. So like you said, it's regulated at the state level by the CPUC. So the county, we can coordinate, we can advocate, but we can't control their overall undergrounding investment decisions or their program boundaries. So.
Thank you for that. Council Member Wong, and then I'll go to you.
I don't know if it's relevant, but I just think about the other services too, like water, like piping. How does that play into it? And also, it could be street reconditioning happening. How does that play, or is that completely separate?
No, that's a great question, because again, that's, again, with the private property construction, right, the roads, we know that work is going to come later. So definitely all that work that's underground, we want to make sure is taken care of first. So we are working on an infrastructure recovery plan that will identify, public projects that need to occur and a framework for prioritizing them. Great question, very relevant.
Councilmember Chipola, we'll go back to.
Just on these mythical FEMA grants I've been hearing about for so long. Who exactly is applying for these? Is it Edison on our behalf? Is it the county on our behalf?
Yeah, that's County Public Works and
Okay.
Rebuild Authority. So we have that application, it's been received, it's eligible. So that.
What is
filed that application in March 2026. So what we know that we won't see. So again, the decision really won't be made till the end of 2027. So I do have some information on this one. Let's see here. On the status of it. Let me find that really quickly. 2027. Yes, and I do want to give you guys some more information on that. So the so again, the funding is not secured. Great points. So we're LA County Public Works and Rebuild Authority are actively pursuing that FEMA Hazard Mitigation Grant Program funding that would help offset private property underground construction costs. But again, funding not secured. Qualifying homes would include insured properties that are already eligible for insurance claims. So underinsured homes may be eligible if documentation could be supported to support that position. It would offset 75% of the cost, and we've estimated about $24,500 as an estimated cost per property based on 100 linear feet on a typical size lot. So again, the application was filed in March 2026. In accordance, we work with Cal OES, right, to try and secure this funding with FEMA. The anticipated timeline for available funding is, if awarded, would be late 2027. And we do understand that that's going to be too late for some homes that are in construction now and completing construction, because again, it would be a rebate program and people wouldn't be eligible. So people really do have that decision point to still make. And then again, if you've already performed the work, let's see here.
So just to be clear, clarify, so it will not be retroactive, that's the rebate part.
It'll be a rebate program, not retroactive.
So residents should know that. And then you're saying your estimate is on average is $24,000 per parcel for 100 linear feet of.
Correct, and this is
connecting.
factoring in standing homes as well as.
All right.
Councilmember Morona and Werlich.
Just not necessarily towards you, but it would be nice if we could get that FEMA money that was already promised to the county. Looking at you, Washington, DC, for that money. We still are waiting. Our people still are hurting, and we need that money, and we need it quickly. Not that that will matter, but if you'd like to come to Altadena, we'd love to have you, President Trump, and you can see what's here and what the people are doing and hurting. So thank you. Going off what Nick said, I think that it's having my hat on as somebody who used to work with the Public Utilities Commission quite closely. I know that Edison has its standards for transformers, but that in Malibu, they're getting underground vaults and such. And so some of the things that Nick was mentioning, if we wrote to the PUC as a matter of course, would that be problematic? Would you want us to work with you, or would it be something that we could do separately? And I know that's something you can't demand of them, so.
Would absolutely like to work together on it. And also, yeah, would be happy to work with your infrastructure and rebuild committee. On
Great, like and we'll offer that invitation. They're not gonna meet for a few more weeks, but
Appreciate
we'll have
that.
it then.
Speaking of rebuild committee, Councilmember Werlich.
Thanks. So I just wanted to follow up on the FEMA funding not being retroactive. So I think by the county's own numbers, over half have submitted for permits currently. So assuming that that funding doesn't come until the end of 2027, then it just seems like that's far too little too late for most, right?
It's an important decision point.
Is there any other funding being pursued, or would this be worked into like the tax increment financing district? I'm just curious if there's other ways of offsetting that cost for homeowners.
That's a great question. I know Supervisor Barker's office did write a letter to Edison in June, and their response letter did mention something about CPUC funding there.
So Edison did ask the CPUC for the ability to include this in their capital expenditures, but up to, I think it was $6,000. And so, residents have had estimates of between 30 and 40,000. So again, this is the one area where, in terms of undergrounding, it's just hard to understand how a project could be taken to, a significant level of completion, but then left to the residents to bear the burden of the final cost of completion.
I hear you there, Morgan. And then don't forget the other piece of it is insurance. So if the insurance would cover it, then it wouldn't be eligible for the program. So some of the
Yeah, I think especially for standing homes, that battle is just very, very difficult for residents.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And this isn't necessarily county related, but I've shared with the council, I believe, after the fire report came out, I did reach out to Mayor Crowder once again, who's been a wealth of information, because I'm constantly looking for precedents. And once PG&E admitted fault, 3 interesting things they did for the town was they helped with some road repair, which I thought was interesting. They did compel CPUC, they wrote a letter to compel CUC to have undergrounding include the telecoms. And I mentioned it to this body. I haven't reached out to the county because I think this is something we should consider. Also very interesting, as I've told them, they covered the cost of going from the street on the private property directly to the home. PG&E agreed to that. So a precedent is set that a disaster-stricken area can push for that. That's what they got out of it. So I wanted to know what we could ask for, but I'm just sharing it with you so you know what's going on in these 16 heads over here.
Appreciate it.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Justin.
Just maybe a dumb question. Can you explain why it's not possible for that funding to be retroactive?
Part of the grant.
Just how the grant's
Part of the
written?
grant program and how it's
So
structured.
no way to, okay.
Not dumb at all.
Did I have one over here? Councilmember Wong? And then I'll go back to Worledge.
Just a quick question. How does the forestry, the tree plan in the right-of-way play into this?
So trees in the public right of way, again, that's coordination that Public Works arborists are meeting with Edison arborists regularly, weekly, to look at their plans and what they're working on to ensure that they're using alternate, that they're not impacting trees, and their excavation, routes, again, are planned to reduce impacts on trees.
Councilmember Worledge, and that'll be the last question.
Yeah, last question. So this is about the Rebuild Authority. So you said that the Rebuild Authority is comprised of different agencies. You also mentioned residents rebuilding their private property. Is there a position on the Rebuild Authority specifically for like an appointment of a community member within, the area that's been affected?
So what the Rebuild Authority is going to do is, again, convene all the parties, all the subject matter experts. And so again, what we want to do is be that primary point, right? So again, there's, complicated, right? There's different departments, different people factoring in. But yeah, I would be happy to work with all of you in that capacity as far as bringing issues and helping solve them together. So hope to look forward to all, working with each of you individually, all the committees, and again, the town council, but really appreciate the opportunity to be in person with you guys tonight.
Thank you, Karen.
And we appreciate you being here. Thank you, Director Barnett.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again. I will move on to committee reports. We'll start with 7.1. Oh, I'm so sorry. What did we miss? Oh, public comment. Thank you. We do have one public comment. Go ahead, council member. Sure. As long as I'm talking, right? Yes. Robert Stahl, come on up, please. Thank you.
I'm Robert Staley. I'm in the Cheney Trail neighborhood. I'm representing myself, but I suspect a few other people are feeling the same way. This is a good follow-up on your presentation. First of all, thank you so much to all of you on the town council for unanimously approving the letter that went to Supervisor Barger that got Edison to slow down on their undergrounding. That has been very helpful to us. Many of us have hired an independent engineering contractor to represent us as a group to Edison because we found that was the only way that we had any hope of getting an overall idea of what was going on, to talk about things like, well, maybe the transformer doesn't really belong over here, maybe it should be over on that side of the street on a different person's property for aesthetic reasons or safety. We found that Lincoln Avenue Water Company has tried to reach out to Edison and found Edison very uncooperative about coordinating between water and electrical service. But the specific item I want to bring up and encourage you folks to perhaps act on is a number of us live on private roads, not just in the Cheney Trail area, there are several others. And Edison is offering, when they're done, to put an asphalt patch over their trench, and then they're done. Oh, and by the way, they pay everybody $500 if you sign the ROE, $500 per household. Our estimate for the cost of repairing the roads after their damage and their trenches is $20,000 to $60,000 per household. LA City charges a street damage restoration fee, which, if that were paid for our private streets, would require Edison to pay upfront over $500,000. I believe the county should be encouraged to have an equivalent arrangement that would apply to county-owned roads and to private roads in the area being rebuilt after the fire. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. All right, we're going to move on to, for real now, committee reports. I'll start with 7.1 land use, Chair Morona.
Mine will be brief. The Land Use Committee did not meet this month in August. We are prepared to meet next month, which is scheduled for the first day of September. So we look forward to meeting then. It will be on Zoom. Please look at our social media and or when our website is up and running, you can look there for where to have the land use meeting Zoom.
Thank you, Chair. We'll move on to 7.2 Election Committee, Sylvia Vega. Councilmember Vega.
Thank you. Okay, council members, I gave you a couple handouts. The first one is the election committee met, and here are the dates that we have given. Tuesday, September 15th, the candidate application package will be posted to the town council website. That same day, at the town council meeting, we're going to ask that council members pick up their signs, and 2 signs are being placed in the census tracts announcing that applications are being accepted to run for the election. Candidate applications are due by October 16th at 5 p.m. And then at our town council meeting in October, the candidates will make their presentations during that meeting. And then our election days will be Tuesday, November 3rd and Saturday, November 7th. And the polling locations, there is a correction, is actually the Altadena Library at Loma Alta Park, Prime Pizza, and Bob Lucas Library. During our meeting, it was discussed in previous years, I mean, since I've been here now 10, 15 years, candidates in the past were to submit their application, a hard copy along with their ID, along with their candidate statement, and a check in a sealed envelope and leave it here at the community center. It was suggested that candidates be given a choice to email their application, a copy of their ID and their candidate statement to, say, election@altadenatowncouncil.org, and be given the chance to submit their non-refundable application fee via Zelle. So in front of you, I've updated the election rules to give the candidate the choice as to whether they want to submit it in person in one place here at the community center, or email the documents and pay their application via Zelle. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the updated election rules that are in front of you, and then I guess we can have a discussion at that point.
We have a motion, and the second was from Chipola. Thank you, and that will lead the discussion. Who would like to begin? Go ahead, Councilmember Mullen.
I was wondering if we're going to explicitly state that displaced residents will be eligible to run?
Well, so we did discuss that, and we talked about, people that are displaced would still have a lot or a place that they had called home prior to, right? So, yes, and they could provide the address that they had prior to the fire.
And that's also the reason why we wanted the option to email and send Zelle if they've been displaced and don't live close by.
I thought I did see language at some point we were talking about displacement. I don't see it on here, but was there discussion of that by your committee? There was. So it's going to be led as an assumption. If you own property, then that's the census tract you would be voting in. I'm fine with that.
You would just submit your address in Altadena, whether it's a lot or whether, yeah.
Oh. Sure, I'm going to welcome.
My trustees, as long as they are expressing a commitment to moving back, they're still eligible to be on the board. So I think that might be helpful because they're like also on a governing body.
Thank you.
So as long as there's an express, yeah, I don't know if that's helpful.
I appreciate that, it is. I believe I've read language like that we had reviewed, but I'm comfortable with the exclusion of it, but I appreciate we had it last year. And I will add that there are rules in our bylaws about maintaining your residency, so that would maintain that you are actively building. I think we're close enough of as council that if somebody new came on and we suddenly discovered they're not returning, but they're trying to remain on the council, we would take the necessary steps. Are there more questions or discussion?
Just as one point, we did do Venmo and Zelle last year or something, but we never voted on it. So just saying, it's already been done.
Any other discussion? All right, I'm going to go ahead and move to a vote. I hesitate because sometimes when we do a vote, we like to hear from the public if there is public comment, but we did not receive any public comment cards, so I'm eyeing the public if something triggered, just out of courtesy to the public. Okay, then I'll move on to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Vega. We will move on to the next committee report. That would be Renters and Protection and Recovery. Chair Green.
The Renters Protection and Recovery Committee continues to work directly with the fire impacted residents. I'm especially pleased to share an update regarding a resident we've been assisting who has faced significant delays regarding an ADU provider for approximately 10 months. I'm sorry, not the ADU provider, the, you know, the houses, oh my goodness. See it? Yes, that. I guess it's just really emotional for me because I got the county involved. This guy was 88 years old. I think I talked to you about it. And thank God, you guys, this week they broke down in his house. His house is sitting on the property, so I'm really excited about that. Cases like this remind us why continued advocacy for the people that we serve is important, because one person getting home is a great thing. So I'm really excited about that. Anish got involved, the county got involved and called the builders to get this man back home on his, you guys, it's the house that it's not the ADUs, you know what I mean, anyway. So anyway, we're also preparing residents for something that's rolling out in January where renters, landlords have to keep the apartments and houses below 82 degrees. That's a law that's coming out. So we started something this week called Did You Know? On our website and also on our Instagram page for residents that need to know about things that are rolling out from the county. And we're having a renters town hall at the Friends Retirement Home in September. So check our webpage for that information. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Don't turn that mic off. We're turning to you, Chair Green, Chair of our Legislative Committee.
Okay, yes. Okay, so SB 1090 has been a huge topic. It is still continuing to move through the legislative process, and its language remains subject to amendment. The Legislative Affairs Committee will continue to monitor these changes closely. We remain hopeful that the final language will reflect the approach with the strongest chance of passage while protecting many Altadena homeowners as possible from outside developers purchasing fire-impacted properties and overbuilding on residential lots. Next, the governor's office has provided additional information as of August the 14th regarding the administration's proposed wildfire liability reforms. The administration is considering a state-managed fast payment option for survivors while seeking to preserve access to the courts. However, formal legislative language has not yet been introduced. The committee will continue monitoring this proposal to ensure that any reforms protect the survivor's right to full and fair compensation, mainly utility accountability, and that we do not shift recovery costs onto fire-impacted communities. Lastly, the Board of Supervisors this last meeting highlighted Reclaiming Home for Black Altadena Rebuilds, a county documentary highlighting the rebuilding journeys of Black Altadena families and the importance of preserving Altadena's history, community, and generational wealth. Our goal remains to identify the legislative and policy decisions that matter most to Altadena. So please follow us at the Altadena Town Council on Instagram. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your work, Chair Green. We'll move on to the Education Committee, Chair Molden.
So school is back in session, and we have another school that's returned to Altadena, Altadena Arts Magnet. So we're really happy that they're back in the community. This school year started on Monday, and so we've got an influx of young students in our community, and that brings me to the upcoming Pasadena Unified School District Board elections that is happening during our general election. And one area to keep an eye out for is District 1, which represents a majority of Altadena. And the incumbent board member, Kimberly Keene, will be facing off against Felita Keeling. And the Education Committee will be hosting a candidate forum for our community to meet them and ask them questions directly. So stay tuned for that. We're expecting to collaborate again with the Women of League Voters and League of Women Voters. Thank you. My brain. And hopefully we'll have this presented to you guys in September. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Molden. Chair Molden, if I might, with school coming up, we definitely have had concerns about some of the construction crews and residents moving quickly on the streets. I just want to see if every year you've been addressing that issue. I assume you're having conversations.
Yes, with the school construction, I know that Franklin has just started to move in their modular buildings off of Ventura. And so there will be continuous street closures through September. They started, yes, today. And so that's happening, but I am on the streets and I'm talking to the crew, and I talk to the district when they are in front of the schools. And so hopefully we can get a handle on that, but I will be sure to keep in contact.
I know in the past we've talked about protections from the students as they're being dropped off and smooth drop-offs, which might not be as much of an issue, but certainly in some areas. But my concern would definitely be, we've been seeing some fast construction trucks moving through neighborhoods that we want to keep an eye on. Okay, appreciate you. Thank you very much. We'll move on to our Rebuilding and Infrastructure Committee, Chair Whirlidge.
Thank you. So, quick update. So this is the data pulled from the county today. We currently have 3,661 applications submitted. My data differs a little from the ones we saw from the Foothill catalog earlier. So I have that we have 153 completed as of today. Structures, right. So yeah, that includes ADUs as well. So those are encouraging numbers. I think there's still a lot of folks waiting to submit permits, of course. And we can go to, actually, hold on that slide for 1 second. I also wanted to point out that the committee met with the residents of the Cheney Trail, and we heard one of them speak earlier, but I want to thank them for meeting with the committee and letting us know about their work with creating a special utility district to address the concerns they have over SE's undergrounding in their neighborhood. I also wanted to mention that
just so the council knows, I've asked Councilmember Whirlidge from our meeting last week. He was pretty passionate, and I would, fair to say, emotional about a flyer that went out that we just want to bring attention to, because it is worthy of us pointing out what's going on.
Yeah, so I wanted to mention that many of us, myself included, have received flyers from a purported organization called Wildfire Victims First. These flyers, you know, they're glossy mailers that have, you know, a picture of, you know, a very dramatic picture of like a fire and the QR code to join. So as reported in the LA Times, this is an organization that has been stood up by the by SCE, PG&E, and San Diego Gas and Electric. So I think that I just want to raise the awareness of that. Of course, they're working on legislation that would impact the ability of wildfire victims to hold those utilities accountable. So I wanted to bring that up as I feel like it's you know, a major concern for our community. So if you receive one of those in the mail, just know that what that is. They're asking people to join their coalition, and as reported in the media, the coalition is really just the utilities. I also just want to point out that it's rich that we have to apply for FEMA funding for, you know, connecting our homes to their utilities when from 2004 to 2005, there was a 200% increase in their overall profits from 1.3 billion to 4.5 billion. So it's, you know, I feel like that should be more widely known. They also increased their investor dividend by 6%. So that concludes that. The last thing I want to say is that if you go to the next slide, we are going to be in partnership with Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles. We heard earlier about the CSLB coming to the collaboratory. So this will be a consumer webinar on understanding home rebuild contracts. So Legal Aid Foundation has put together a one-pager or multi-pager on understanding contracts. So they're going to go over that. If you would like to submit questions, you can submit questions by tomorrow to have them included in the webinar. And you can register at this QR code and sign up for the webinar. It'll be Monday, August 24th from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair Werlich. I'll add that there has been a steady stream at the collaboratory of people seeking, while the rebuild is happening, specific legal advice. So the collaboratory is bringing in a table for legal advice, for free legal advice, which would include perhaps if you're building on your property and you're having trouble getting a hold of your neighbor, to be able to have access. In some cases that's accidental, in some cases it's intentional, but people are definitely increasing in their needs. So I'm glad to see that. Thank you very much. I'm going to move on to Safe Streets and Mobility. Chair Wong.
Thank you. I'll try and make this very quickly and just give some highlights, but I do want to also echo that school has started. There's a lot of construction vehicles going around, and we average in traffic crashes for vulnerable road users close to 30% every month. That means 1 in 3 or 4 of our crashes involve somebody walking or biking. So it's super important because it's also going to be getting darker sooner as well. So I'm actually, and I encourage our council members around the schools to remind their constituents to be safe while they're driving. And also, I also second the concern about traffic safety around the schools. And then my quick thing is that there are plans that have been going on since 25 and 26. This is 2026. That do a lot of different things that focus on traffic safety and mobility. So, so in that, if you can believe it, the sustainability plan also has that. And I spoke with them today. They are doing, in 2025 was the update of the sustainability plan. And in 2026, they do a sort of a check-in every year to see if the sustainability goals are reaching or prioritizing different things. So for us in Altadena, it's really important for us to look at the sustainability plan, which includes a lot of different things. And as it relates to mobility, The forest plan is important because that leads to walkability, which is also in our West San Gabriel Valley area plan. Cool pavements, all kinds of different things. So they want community inputs and on an already short draft by the 24th of this month, which is next week. If anybody wants to talk about that further, you can actually talk to them directly on the 20th. They have on their website, sustainability. Sorry, I don't have it, but it's sustainability at cso.lacounty.gov. And they have sessions available through the 20th. And they also reminded us as a town council that they're willing to talk to us before that time. So we can organize on that. And then the other things that happened in 2025-26 is the Vision Zero Action Plan. In the Vision Zero Action Plan is also safe routes to schools. In that Vision Zero Action Plan, they have a website now. So we can look at Vision Zero LA County. So these are frameworks for all of LA County unincorporated. But this is the time for us to really think about activating and finding activation for safe routes to schools, because it has been identified in our master plans. And then our pedestrian plan, the county applied through public health for funding to activate a pedestrian plan in Altadena, but we didn't get selected. So this is our time to advocate for activating the pedestrian plan as we go into looking at sidewalks and different infrastructure. And then the bicycle master plan is further delayed. It's not going to be anytime soon, but hopefully before the year ends, because there's a certain speed limit policy related to sharrows, which are on New York Drive. Those are class 3 bike routes. And the speed limit might put a challenge to what's listed right now on the draft plan. But they are going to be coming to us in the next few months. So I'm talking too much, but last but not least, don't look, this is the time with the West San Gabriel Valley area plan to focus on mobility, traffic calming, sidewalks, transit service, and all of those things that have been identified. So looking forward to that. That's it.
Thank you, Chair Wong. I'll use Chair's privilege to backtrack to legislative. I do want to mention to the council, we did sign a letter of support for 1090 in June. Obviously, the language hasn't come out yet, and it's going to move quickly into the floor for a vote. So I will update according to the new language. And while we don't prefer this method, we will vote digitally on the updated language to see how the council feels on where that legislation stands. Probably and hopefully by this Friday, that's when amendments are due. All right, we're going to public comment, but there are no more public comment, correct? I'll move on to 9, census tract reports. We'll start with 4610.
Thank you. Reporting for the great census tract of 4610, soon to have the safest and cleanest streets in Altadena. Quick shout out to, am I on? Quick shout out to Altadeans for Accountability and the Altadena Recovery Convening. I was able to attend both those meetings in Southwest Altadena, and they are fantastic meetings. I highly recommend those who are interested to go check out Council Member Molden's Instagram for recaps of both those two meetings. They talk about very important things with regards to our recovery. Also specifically at Southwest Altadena, we heard from the affordable housing developer who's working on the project near Windsor and Woodbury. I met with him in person, and he said that he formally acquired that land on the 30th of June. It's been reported that it's a mixed-use development, but it's actually an affordable housing development. He immediately cleaned up the landscaping on that lot, which will continue to be maintained, so it was kind of overgrown. You'll see that be improved. They have a funding application currently pending with the LA County Development Authority. Their design team is continuing to work on their civil, architectural, and engineering drawings, and they will share those back to us when they're ready. and also to the Land Use Committee. They are targeting a groundbreaking for fourth quarter of 2027. And one thing I pressed on him about was talking about making sure what was happening with regards to prioritizing affordability and applications for Altadena renters. And he said point blank that he is prioritizing Altadena recovery and Altadena renters who are displaced as part of their funding and grant statement. We met with the Sheriff's Department, ISIS and I, with regards to flock cameras. The survey results are put out on Instagram. We're working on a more in-depth report. And as was mentioned by Councilmember Yu, tree trimming is happening. We're going to put a more detailed map for Southwest on our link tree, pun intended, and street sweeping is happening, also mentioned by Councilmember Yu, also on our link tree with a more specific map is there now, and those tickets are expensive, so be sure to look at the signs. Speaking from personal experience.
Thank you. We'll move on to 4603.02.
Thank you. Sorry. I have a statement from George's Market. If anyone doesn't know where that's located, it's on the corner of Lincoln and Altadena Drive. All right. So for more than 30 years, our family has been proud to call George's and Altadena home. For over 3 decades, our family has owned and operated this little corner store in Altadena. During that time, we have watched generations of families walk through our doors, children grow up and return with children of their own, and customers becoming familiar faces, friends, and part of the George's family. George's has never just been a business to us. It has been a second home, a place where our family grew up alongside the community we serve, and we feel incredibly fortunate to have been part of the everyday life of Altadena for more than 30 years. After the devastating fire, our doors were closed for more than a year and a half. Like so many families and businesses throughout Altadena, we have spent the time rebuilding, recovering, and thinking about what it means to come back. We decided that we didn't simply want to reopen George's, we wanted to bring it back better for the community that has supported us for more than 3 decades. While we are proud of George's history, we saw the rebuilding process as an opportunity to create something special for the next chapter of the store. We have completely updated the interior while preserving the character and familiarity that have always been George's, feel like George's. We just recently completed our new mural with Altadena resident and artist Austin Scott that celebrates our connection to Altadena, and we've spent a great deal of time improving what we offer, from better products and fresh grab-and-go food options to more local and independent brands. Just as importantly, we are focused on better and fairer pricing for our community. We believe that the people of Altadena deserve access to great products and great food at reasonable prices right here in their own neighborhood. Our goal is to create a corner store that reflects the Altadena of today while still feeling like George's that this community has known for more than 30 years. We will have a soft opening within the next couple of weeks, and we cannot wait to finally welcome our neighbors back through our doors. Then on September 12th, mark your calendars, we will be hosting our official grand opening party, and we would love to invite the entire community to come celebrate with us. I have one more thing real quick, do you mind? Sorry. And then one more thing, construction activity. As rebuilding continues throughout Altadena, residents in Census Tract 4603.02 have raised concerns regarding the frequency and duration of construction activity in residential neighborhoods. Some residents have specifically expressed interest in having a one designated day each week without construction activity, providing neighborhoods with a period of relief from construction noise and related impacts. We will continue listening to residents and exploring what options may be available through the county while recognizing the importance of keeping rebuilding efforts moving forward. That's it. Bye.
Thank you, council member. I'll remind the council, we did have the discussion and the agreement that we're going to put a letter together to ask for Sundays to be a day of rest from construction for the community. We saw the survey that the county did, and overwhelmingly residents wanted this, especially those still living in the community. And construction was about split. They didn't know if they'd make use of it, so there's no reason to have that on Sundays necessarily. Thank you all. I'm going to move on to 4602. That is my census tract. Do you have something?
I've got 2 things. Now, while businesses are slowly coming back, we have 2 beloved businesses on Mariposa that have opened locations elsewhere. Altadena Hardware has opened a new location. They've taken over an older local community hardware store in Sierra Madre, and they are now located at 297 West Sierra Madre Boulevard. So if you want to see their staff and you want to visit them, come by and, support Altadena Hardware. And then also Steve's Bike Shop has moved to Simi Valley. He is, I think the store is called the Bike Guys. And you can follow his Instagram at Steve's Bikes to follow along with his journey and where he is going.
Thank you.
That concludes my
Councilmember
report.
Yu. Glad to see them back on their feet. 4603.01.
Thank you, Chair. 460301 is very grateful to Supervisor Barger for the Loma Alta Pool extension until September the 30th. That was mentioned by Parks and Recreation. This week, the pool is closed, but will reopen next week, and we'll have a new schedule. I believe there was over 20 letters written to the supervisor on this issue from our small census tract, but they are a mighty voice, and we thank again those in the supervisor's office. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Councilmember Chipola, seconded by Anderson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstains. We are adjourned.
Yeah.
Well, you're